Their experience and opportunity this morning. You can post it to me.
I want to be
opportunity very often.
I rarely stood next to anyone so well dressed.
What was it that prompted you to tackle this subject?
Well, I'd say the first, I had long been concerned about, by the way, can I ask you, does that tiny little thing record this?
Yes. Yes.
How come these guys have these big giants?
Because they're all TV reporters and I'm a newspaper reporter.
I was prompted to tackle this because I'd always been extremely dubious about Darwinism, because Darwinism leads to social Darwinism, which is the disgusting belief that there are superior and inferior races, and that it is the duty of the superior races to eliminate the inferior races. This was explicitly one of the props of National Socialism, Nazism under Adolf Hitler, and explicitly one of the props of the Holocaust, which killed 6 million of my fellow Jews. And so I had always been extremely leery of Darwinism for that reason. Once I started discussing the general subject of academic suppression and the shortage of data to support Darwinism with the men and women who worked on this project, and they started sending me books about it, it became very clear that Darwinism rests on an extremely slender pillar of belief. And while the Darwinists themselves will shout down any opposition, when it comes to asking the basic questions, where did life come from? How did inorganic matter become organic life? They have a movie. And what I say to them is, we are challenging your whole worldview. We're challenging your whole academic view of the universe, and the most you can come up with to oppose us is that we didn't tell you the name of the movie. There's something very encouraging about that.
How are you distributing the movie? Is it theater release?
In theater. It's going to be in theaters all across the country. We have a lot of screens now. We hope to be up to 1,000 screens or close to it by. It might be close to it on the other side of it, past it, by a release date.
But do you think state legislatures should punish public universities that do have incidences like Emily's cases?
Well, I don't know what you mean. I don't know if punish is the right word. I mean, I don't want them taken out to the woodshed and spanked, but I would like to see that it not happen again. I don't want to see people forced to do chores, academic chores and assignments that are repugnant to their faith beliefs and their core personal beliefs of conscience. That's extraordinary that would even be suggested, and that once Emily had made it clear that it was offensive to her and painful to her, she would be told she had to do it. And once she had said, "Sir, with all due respect, I simply cannot do it," they then file a grievance against her is appalling. It's startling. It's very discouraging about the human nature.
Is this your first documentary film, and will you be making any more?
Yeah, it's my first documentary film, and we hope to be making more, although we haven't decided on the subject.
For instance, just take the clean use of hyperbole, we're insisting the world was flat. They would do it with insisting that. Isn't it the obligation of faculty to publicize the person that this person
I am so glad you asked that question. I'm so glad you asked that question. Absolutely. The professor should say what's on his or her mind and should give his or her reasons, but if a student comes up with reasons and a well-reasoned argument to dispute that, he or she should not be punished. And I agree, it sure looks to me as if the earth isn't flat. But if a student comes up with an argument and 10 really good points grounded in fact and logic and reason why it seems to her that it is flat, don't kick her out of the class and say, look, here's why I think you're wrong, but your arguments are interesting and well-reasoned. You know, we have in the movie a document.
I'm talking about the professors.
We have in the movie, the professors should say what they want, but I mean, as long as it's not obscene or racist or anything like that. But the students should then be able to argue and bring up their point of view and be able to question that. We are for freedom. This is a bill for freedom. This is not a bill against freedom. This is a bill for freedom. We are looking to expand the boundaries of freedom with this bill, and Jane is, and we're very much in her corner about it. We don't look to contract those boundaries. We think those boundaries are already way too small. We'd like to expand the boundaries. Everyone who's ever taught knows that there's political correctness in classrooms. We'd like to try to get some of that out of there. I was a teacher for many years of my life. I saw political correctness at work. It's a nauseating thing.